Welcome to Catholic Mom Mindset, a daily show where you learn to walk closely with the Holy Spirit so you can live the life God is calling you to. I'm your host, Sterling Jaquith. Let us begin. Don't wuss out and not tell your kids how you're feeling. I think that we become parents. We love them so much. We pour so much of ourselves into these little babies that can't talk. And they get bigger. And then they're, 2-year-olds and screamsy, emotionally unregulated 3-year-olds. And then they kind of go up through the ages. And at some point, your kids start hurting your feelings. And at some point, you start thinking things about your kids and your relationship with them. You have negative thoughts about that. And I think too often we keep them to ourselves and we don't share them with our kids. And I want to be really careful about suggesting this to you because I don't want you to lean on your children for adult advice, right? I grew up with a single mom and she probably had a lot of conversations with me that weren't really age appropriate just because she had nobody else to talk to. So you don't want to work out your high level psychology stuff with your kids. But if you worked it out on your own, and you've been listening to this podcast and maybe you understand the model and maybe you begin to see some of your thinking, one way that you can have a better relationship with your kids is just to change your thinking. You don't need to talk to anyone for that. But another way is to just go have a conversation with your kid about what you think. And so I did this recently with my oldest. She was hanging out with another mom who she thought was like really cool and fun. And she was saying all these positive things about this other mom. And I could feel myself feeling kind of bad, feeling kind of yucky, like, oh, does she not think those things about me? And I'm very different than this mom. And does she not like me? Are we not going to have a good relationship? Oh, no, right? And my brain just like, woof, so many things. And instead, I just sat her down and I said, hey, how are you doing? And she told me how she was doing. And I said, I want to talk about our relationship. I said, our relationship is really important to me. And this kiddo is 11, and I would probably do this with my 9-year-old. I don't know about a 7-year-old, right? I'm kind of on the fence about that. Definitely 9, definitely 11. And what I mean is that they have the capacity to have this conversation with me. And I said, I want to have a good relationship with you. I'm raising you, and there's a certain amount of tension that comes with that as parents have to parent their kids and give them rules and consequences. But I said, I really want a strong relationship with you in your adulthood. And I want you to know that you can trust me. I want you to know that I have your back and that I'm going to fight for your dreams and that I love you so much. I love you so much. And I said, I noticed that you were saying these things about this other mom, which is awesome. I really like her. Those things are awesome. And I said, but what do you think about me? Or can we talk about what you think about our relationship? And it was kind of a gamble as I did it, but she was very mature and she told me some things and most of them were really positive. And I think it was very meaningful to her to see that I cared about the kind of relationship that we have. And I told her some of the things that I do for her and the ways that I think about her and the ways that I'm trying to set her up for success. And I could see that that was really meaningful to her. And so if you have a kiddo and you have thoughts about your relationship with them, I want to invite you to have a conversation with that kiddo about your relationship. I have another daughter and I said, I want to spend some time with you. And she was like, can you take me to a restaurant? And I was like, no, let's pick something else. And all the things she listed were food things, which isn't a problem. But I said, you know what? I want to find something that we can do together that isn't about food or about spending money. Like, let's make a long list. And I said, I just want to spend time with you. I want to create memories with you. And so I didn't tell her she was bad or wrong for wanting that. Obviously, restaurants and food are a very sensational experience, especially if you get to do that with one parent and none of the other kids. And so, but I didn't want to have this like negative thought that she only wants to do food things with me. And I could have just left it at that. But instead, I explained, like, I want to spend time with you. There's other things that we can do. What do you think? And I was able to find more things that we will then get to do with each other. So Jordan Peterson says, do not let your children do anything that causes you to dislike them. And this is the point I'm trying to make. I think a lot of times our kids do things and then we have negative thoughts about the kid or about our relationship with them, and we just let it be. We just let it fester. And instead, I want you to bring it to the light first on your own, just to see if it's true or not. Like, you might be able to do your own self-coaching and just clear out some of those weeds. But then bring it to your kid. Trust them. Treat them maturely and discuss with them, like, hey, we're two people and we have a relationship, and this is kind of the relationship I want to have. What kind of relationship do you want to have? And I think having that conversation can be really, really powerful. So I hope that was helpful. It was helpful to me just to kind of see that in a deeper level this week, as I did that with my oldest. And I think it could be really powerful to think about the kind of relationship that we want to have with our kids and to involve them in that process. Thank you so much for listening, and have a blessed day. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Catholic Mom Mindset. To learn more about growing closer to the Holy Spirit, check out our free resources at madeforgreatness.co. Thank you so much for listening, and have a blessed day.